Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's makeup, we are actually going to be doing a how-to video, and I've been getting a lot of requests for this just because when people see me in real life, they're like, wow, it looks like you just got back from MAC and your face looks so flawless. I can't even do that on myself, when honestly it's so easy to create a flawless face to me that I just want to show you guys how easy it is that you guys can just do it at home, so you guys don't have to go to MAC, or even worse, go to a makeup store that does a completely awful job. Now let's just jump into the video so I can show you guys how I create my flawless complexion. Okay, I have my hair up, so we are all ready to put some makeup on our face. And before we start into the actual makeup, I'm going to tell you guys a really important step that is so key to any makeup look, just anything when it comes to foundation. You need to moisturize. That is so important. It is the key to making makeup blend better. It helps makeup look smooth on the skin, and it also helps makeup last really long on the skin. So my moisturizer that I love, that I've been using it for years, is the Bobbi Brown Hydrating Face Cream. An expert told me that they actually have built primer technology in their moisturizers, so you are able to use them obviously to moisturize your skin, but as a way of having a great base for foundation without having to use a primer. In my opinion, primers aren't super necessary, just because a moisturizer will do the job perfectly just as well. So this one's my absolute favorite. It blends over skin so well. It is a great base for makeup. If you have normal skin, this is perfect, and also if you have dryness and maybe a tad bit oily skin, you could use this. If you're super dry or super oily, I wouldn't recommend this product. I would probably go with something different based on your skin type. Next, when it comes to creating a really flawless base for your makeup, you need to make sure your foundation matches you. You can go to Sephora and get color tested, but the best way to do it, in my opinion, is to grab some samples of some foundation shades that you feel like is your range. Go home in natural sunlight and put the foundation, just swatch them on your neck and then also on your décolleté, and whichever foundation blends into your skin and matches the best is the foundation shade you want to use. I always tell my clients to never ever test your foundation on your face. I don't care like what scenario, you never test your foundation on your face, because your face has so many different undertones. My foundations that I'm going to be using that I love because they are super long wearing, they work great if you self tan, especially with Loving Tan, which is what I use. These foundations will match any tanner color that you use perfectly, and it also is really great coverage. Beyonce, I believe, uses this foundation for her photo shoots, and it lasts forever, and it's also inexpensive, so you can't really beat it. And this famous foundation is the EX1 Invisiwear foundation. Absolutely love this. I'm always self-tanning, which I have. I'm wearing Loving Tan in shade medium, so it's not super dark, but you know, it gives me a little bit of color. So this foundation shade is actually too dark. This matches me when I'm Loving Tan dark or extra dark. So I'm going to mix the LA Girl Pro Coverage HD foundation, and this is the shade White, which is a great foundation to mix darker foundations to make them light. So this is my foundation that I'm going to be wearing today. It's important to know which brush you're going to be using when applying your makeup. The best brushes, in my opinion, are flat top brushes. And what I mean by that is, my favorite is the Morphe E6. You can tell it is flat, and it's very dense. I wish you guys could feel it, but it's very dense. It's not really fluffy at all. It's also extremely soft. So with this brush, you're just going to pounce it into the skin to push the makeup into the skin, which is going to make your foundation last longer and give you full coverage. And the bristles are very soft, so it's very easy to blend, so you're not going to get any streaks. So I mixed my foundation on this little container right here, and when it comes to actually how much you want to apply in your skin, when I want a full coverage look and like flawless coverage, you don't want to be shy on the amount of foundation you're applying. And I know people are like, well, that's gonna make me really cakey if I apply too much. Trust me, it won't. I know it might seem like you are, but liquid foundations are very natural, and that's why I prefer them. If you wanted a cakey face, you're gonna go with a cream product, and that's gonna give you instant full coverage, but liquids are more medium coverage to buildable full coverage. So start off with a medium coverage. If you need more, apply that foundation in those specific areas where you need more. Other than that, you're just gonna blend it and push the makeup into the skin like I'm doing right now. I don't really do swirls with this brush. I really just pounce it into my skin, and I just do that until I find it is blended out. I usually do 2 coats of foundation. I usually start off with this 1 layer, and then all the places I need more coverage, I put that more foundation on that area, and that's going to help you keep the foundation not very cakey instead of just applying a whole nother second layer everywhere. You're just going to apply it where you need it. That is the foundation already applied, and this is what it looks like just with foundation. Also, a tip, if you're having troubles with blending out your foundation with the that buffing stippling brush, you can take a beauty blender, make sure it's damp, and just pat your skin, and this will help blend out the foundation and also take away any excess foundation that you have so you aren't caking up the makeup. Next, for concealer, to create that really bright under eye, we first need to correct our under eyes. And I know a lot of people don't do this, but I am I'm a stickler about this, just because our under eyes are naturally very dark. Like, I have a lot of blue and purple tones, even some red tones. Every single person has darkness under their eye. If they say they don't, they're lying, because I have very good skin and I have a lot of darkness. So in order to have really bright under eyes, you need to use a lighter concealer to brighten your face. But you can't use a light concealer over a dark area, because that will only make it ashy, if that makes sense. So in order for you to highlight without making your under eyes look ashy, is to correct the darkness to make it neutral, and then you can put on a light concealer. So to correct my under eyes, my favorite corrector ever is the Eve Pearl Salmon Corrector, and I'm going to be using the shade Medium. They come like this. It's duotone, so they have a pink and a peachier shade, so you can use either or mix them to get like a perfect shade for you. They are full coverage. They are so thin that they won't cake up your under eyes. They're not drying. They are great. I use them for everybody that I do. Usually I just use my finger, but I'm pretty low on this side, which I like to use, and I'm gonna actually mix them both. I'm going to use this brush from MAC, the 286, and I am just going to get that brush and just swirl it in there really nicely. And then I'm going to start in this inner corner right here, and then put this over my dark areas. You don't need it to do all underneath your eyes, because pretty much the inner corner to halfway is the darkest part of your eyes. So focus on the inner corner right here and a little bit down halfway. And then I also put it underneath my eyes, because I personally have darkness right underneath my lashes. You can pat, you can swirl, either way works. I'm gonna do both just to make sure that area is concealed and corrected. So this is the eye corrected, and this is the eye not corrected. You can see there's a huge difference. This eye is completely neutralized, so we're able to get that really light and bright under eye versus this. All right, for concealer, this is my favorite part of makeup. Like, it makes a life-changing difference when it comes to really opening up and brightening your entire face. So I'm going to show you guys my top 4 favorite concealers I use on myself, on my clients, to create a very flawless, full coverage, long-lasting, highlighted look. So these 4 are my top. I have the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, the Laura Mercier Long-Wearing Ultra Flawless Fusion Ultra Long-Wearing Concealer, and then the Tarte Shape Tape. For today's look, I'm going to be using a mixture of the NARS concealers. I'm going to be using Gingered and Custard. I'm going to take Ginger, and I'm going to get from the inner corner to the bottom of my nose, and then just kind of create a little triangle, just like this, all the way to the end of the eye, right there. I know it seems like a lot, and trust me, you're not going to cake up your makeup. And I'm going to use my beauty blender, and I'm going to blend that out just from the side of my nose right here all the way to my hairline back there. My dog joined us, if you guys can see her over there. She wanted to be with me. We're gonna highlight the rest of our face, which is the chin, Cupid's bow, the bridge of our nose right here, and then forehead. And then a pro tip that I have learned from experience is to don't go like 10 shades light on highlighting with concealer, just because that literally will cause you flashback. I've had so many pictures where I highlighted my face so much with a shade that was like 10 shades lighter, and it looks like I have bad flashback, but it's really that my face looks so light and like my perimeter looks so dark because of the highlighting concealer. So go with a concealer that's just a couple shades lighter, just because that's gonna help not create a ton of flashback, and look like you have like a super white like center and then like a super dark like perimeter and contour. Next we are going to cream contour and cream bronze. Using cream products is really the most natural, even though it sounds intimidating. It truly is the most natural because you are able to blend it into your foundation. So for my cream contour, I love this palette from Makeup Forever, the Pro Sculpting palette. This is in the shade 30 and it comes with a blush, glitter highlighter, contour, and a matte highlighter. So I'm just going to use a concealer brush. So when I tell people to contour, imagine a line from the top of your ear to your lip, and that's the line you want to follow. So starting from my ear, I'm going to go to my lip and create a line just like that. And then I like to blend as I go. So I'm going to use that Fenty brush, which is a great brush to blend. And I'm just going to blend upward. You never want to blend down. Blend upward, do some swirly motions. I'm gonna pat, make sure that contour really stays on our skin. And then I'm gonna take the Beauty Blender and I'm just going to run it over. You could even blend it upward as well. And that's it all blended out. It's very, very natural. So for my bronzer, we're going to use my favorite ever. This is the Chanel Soleil Tan. It's huge. It's like 54 bucks. It's like a foot and an arm to pay for this, but it freaking lasts forever. I think I've had this for 2 years and I have so much left. You can use your foundation brush that I used before and just swirl that brush on in there. And I'm just going to pat it at the perimeter of my forehead. And I like to start at my temples and work my way up to the top. And there you go. That's all your cream products that I like to use. Okay, we are almost done with our flawless complexion, and now we're going to move on to powder. Powder is extremely important no matter how old you are. The amount of powder you should be wearing varies on your skin type, and also how old you are. For me, I'm young, I have normal skin, so I can wear as much powder as I want. If you're dry, I would do a very light dusting of powder, not too much. If you are mature, a light dusting of powder, and that's all you really need. You don't need a ton of powder because you don't want it to settle in lines or wrinkles. So I'm going to show you how I set my highlighted areas, which I mean my under eyes and then the areas that I highlighted in the center right here. And if you want something extremely full coverage that will last forever, I only recommend this if you guys are young and you guys don't have under eye wrinkles or lines. You can use your Beauty Blender and you can actually bake with this. Personally, I don't like to bake. I don't like letting it just sit there. I think it gets cakey like that. So I will show you how I like to do my set with my Beauty Blender. So I'm going to use my Laura Mercier translucent powder. I love this stuff. It is one of the best translucent powders out there. You guys should definitely get it if you don't have. I'm just going to dip my Beauty Blender in. I don't want to get too much, so sometimes I scrape the sides on the powder container, and that's how much I have on my Beauty Blender. And I'm going to set my under eyes by patting that on the area where I highlighted. So down the sides of my nose all the way up to my temples. You can get a little bit more if you need more. And I am literally pouncing in the powder, so I'm not letting it sit on my skin. I'm pushing it into my skin, so it really sets the makeup, and this will help significantly if you have troubles with your under eyes creasing from concealer. This will help make you not crease at all. So then with the rest, I'm going to set the areas where I highlighted. So my chin, my cupid's bow, my nose, and just the very center like that. And I'm just going to use that side to blend it in like so. And then also my forehead. If you guys also, if you don't want to bake using your sponge, use a brush. I really like the Morphe E49. It's just, it's flat, it's dense, so it really packs on the powder. You can use this and still have a very light dusting of it. Just make sure you tap off a lot of the excess. Fluffier brushes will apply the makeup less, will pack on the makeup less than a brush that is dense. And then to set the rest of my face, I'm going to use the RCMA No Color Powder. I really love this stuff. It works for every single skin tone, from the fairest porcelain girls to my deep chocolate ebony girls. And before we put on another layer of powder, a great way to make your skin not super powdery or look very cakey is to apply a setting spray between the layers of powder. I like to use the Urban Decay All Nighter. Unfortunately, I'm out, but you can use that. That's my first choice. But I also really love the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus Spray. This is going to help moisturize your skin and give you more of that dewy look back instead of that powdery look. Color powders that I'm going to be using to help with the whiteness of the No Color Powder is this one right here. This is the MSF from MAC in Medium Plus, and this powder is actually from L'Oreal, or yeah, I think L'Oreal. It's part of like it's a powder that they sell. I really like their powders, so I'm just going to mix those two with the same brush we used to apply the No Color Powder. And so this will give, again, a very light dusting, but will add color to the face. I really like both these powders, especially the MAC MSF, because it is so natural on my skin. They just look so beautiful on the skin, and I recommend it for all ages. I love this for very young girls and for very mature people as well, and everybody in between. And then to set all that, I'm going to go back in with the Fix Plus. Alright, so this is the completed full coverage look. I'll give you guys a little close-up. This is what my skin looks like. It's very natural. It doesn't look cakey, but it still has really great flawless coverage. So yeah, I mean, you can still see I have some acne, because you can hide the color of acne, the redness and all that, but you can't hide the fact that it is raised above your skin. So you're gonna see acne, but you can't see the color. You can just see it kind of raised in 3D. So yeah, this is the makeup, and then I'm actually going to finish my makeup off, do my eyes and everything, and I will show you the completed look at the very end. Alright, I am back with the completed makeup look. I completed everything else on my face. I hope you guys like this tutorial. If you guys want more how-to videos for anything else, if you guys want to know how to do like blend eyeshadow, how to do I don't know, contouring. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys found this very helpful. And again, like always, thank you so much for watching these videos. It takes me a lot of time to record and edit, so it's really appreciated if you guys could like and comment, tell me guys what videos you want me to film next. So let me know what you guys want to see next, and until then, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!